Today I'm going to be walking through how Nexla makes it really easy to work with data APIs and get the data that you need and even send it to other APIs or wherever else you need at the end. So anyone who's ever worked with APIs knows that it can be really difficult to work with many different systems of authentication and to have that scale up to sometimes the hundreds of thousands of records that companies need to process. The great thing about Nexla is it makes it super easy to set those up, gives you the tools to connect it right away and authenticate in with whichever method you need, and even chain those APIs along to send data through the flow you need to get it where you want it. So I'm going to be showing how that's done and how easy it is to set that up. And the example we're going to use is a movies database with actors. So the input I have is this lookup table that I want, say, 3 actors that are the top actors of the week or the ones that you're interested in. And what this will do is feed that to an API to get the actor's ID, then take that ID and put it back into another API that will look for all the movies that actor has ever starred in. So what you're doing is is chaining these APIs along to have a single step process where you can input actor names and iteratively get the result you need, which is movies they've starred in. So normally this takes a really long time to set up. It takes a lot of custom work and engineering, but with Nexla, anyone can do it in just 5 minutes, and it takes a few simple drag and drop tools to accomplish. So what you can see here on the screen now is the data flow I described, where we have a movie database as the source. We're fetching the ID of the actors I put in just by searching their names up, and then we're putting that ID back into another API that searches up all the movies they were in. And this database that it outputs, that Nexla automatically detects, lists and describe all those movies with their IDs and other information along with them. So normally, to set this up for a business, that would take a lot of engineering work, a lot of custom work, and with Nexla, I'll show you how to do it in the next 5 minutes. So what we start with is a lookup table. You can easily import via CSV, or what I did is just type in these 3 actors we want. So Charlize Theron, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Brad Pitt. So this can be something that changes on the daily, something you need updated frequently, and you can mass lookup and push through this process very easily with Nexla. So you upload your CSV, you put in your lookup table, and then what you want to do is create a new data flow using an API. So these are all of Nexla sources that Nexla supports. We're going to go with API, click Next, and all you have to do is add the credentials for whichever API. That can be a public API, it can be an internal company API with the API key. So this is super powerful because all of these things are normally really complicated to work with, but Nexla makes it automatic, and all you have to do is click from a drop-down menu and it's done. So first we want to we're looking at the movies database, and I'll paste in the API URL, leave it at get, and leave the content type. No authentication, but Nexla makes it easy to work with OAuth or tokens or whatever you need with the API you're accessing. So simply click Save, and you can click Test, and then we can see what we're looking up. So here is all the actors, and right now it's only looking up Charlize Theron. So what we want to do is simply select the lookup that I just showed you was made with those 3 actors, and instead of looking up this one actor, all you have to do in Nexla is use these powerful macros that allow you to link that lookup table to the API fetch. So as you can see here, here's our 3 different actors, each calling the API a different time and producing one result from that. So when we click Test again, what you can see here is the test result of all the movies these 3 actors have been in, produced as different results. So now all you have to do is click Add Another Step here, And we're going to put in the database for looking up movie credits from an actor ID. So first we needed to fetch the actor ID. Then we want to chain another API to look up the movies from that ID. So now, instead of just looking up one ID, all you have to do is open up the macro menu again, and you can fetch the result from step 1 of the API. So all I'm going to do is scroll down, click ID, and you can select any other output from that first fetch. And now, Nexla will look up for each of the IDs of the results from the lookup table. So now when we click cast, you have all the movies that each of these actors have been in, produced in different data sets. So just like that, the API is chained along. You can click add another step and continually keep chaining along API just as easily, and set up these macros and lookups that will scale to any amount of records for any complication of data and push along any updates and changes in the API or lookup table. So just like that, we have it all set up to do what I set out to do. Click create, and we've created a new source. And Nexla then takes that source, automatically scans and formats data sets. So it takes all of that work out of the process and outputs the data set that we just saw at the beginning. That was the movies that the actors have starred in from the lookup table that we inputted. So now, say these actors star in a new movie's released or announced, this data set is automatically updated with that new movie using the same lookup table, same inputs, as long as it's active. So just like that, we produce the result that I described, and something that might take months of engineering work and custom setup just took me minutes using Nexla's powerful tools. You can do this to set up really complicated macros, APIs over a list using lookup tables, and as I showed, chaining API results to look up different things from different APIs. So for companies that are working with more and more APIs, they have to onboard new data flows like this every day. Nexla makes it that easy to set them up and keep them going as the data changes and grows and needs more iteration. To learn more, head to nexla.com to request a demo and learn more about the product, and start making your data operations faster and easier today.